Broads Media.
We have an unserious football team in town. Our football team is a mess. Do you know why it's a mess? Because Nick Sirianni sucks at his job. The biggest clown in NFL head coaching history is currently the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's start from the beginning of this bye week. We were told his plan was to have an open door policy where players can go into his office and tell him what needs to be fixed. That sounds fundamentally flawed, considering you're the guy that gets paid the money to have the answers. You're the guy that's supposed to be in charge and tell the players what to do, yet here you are waiting for all the answers to fall into your lap. Childish. Then, after the game is over, and he feels proud of the win, which is comical, he has the balls to start chirping the fans behind the bench. And after the game was over, the reason he said he did it was because the players told him they want to see more attitude, more personality, more Nick Sirianni on the sidelines. Okay, so let's put everything we know together. When you think about the bye week, you think about getting things on track after a 2-2 start. You think about the details of the game. Yeah, let me ask you a question. Did the end of the first half look structured to you? Are you pissing me off or what? Saquon's running out way too early, doesn't pick up a first down. 3rd and 1, Jalen Hurts is getting sacked. And then I'm watching a blocked field goal that goes for a touchdown the other way by Rodney McLeod, of all people. The game's tied 10-10. You were winning this game late, 13-10. The offense, for a majority of the game, felt to be run it with Saquon Barkley and then push it for 1 yard to move the chains. That's it. There's nothing going on with all of this skill and A.J. Brown returning and all of this flashiness with your wide receivers. And you're not scoring in the first quarter again. You're going 3 and out way too much. One of the drives you took over at the 50, you had 2 false starts and couldn't execute as much as you wanted to. So let's not worry about that. Let's worry about how some of the players think it would be cooler for Nick Sirianni to rah-rah his way on the sidelines. And even if he could do a better job when plays were being made on the field, there is a huge separation between barking at the fan base behind you and then maybe dapping up one of your players or smacking them on the helmet after they come up with the big 3rd down stop and cheering. You don't see that there's a big line that you crossed? If I'm Jeffrey Lurie and I think about him reading a book of leadership during the offseason, and I think about how I want my team to be led, I'm firing Nick Sirianni today. I'm telling him to pack his bags and get the hell out of this town. You want your business to have that joke be the face of it? He takes pride in the way they won this game. He keeps saying that it's hard to win in this league. And while there's truth to that to a degree, it's not hard to beat the Cleveland Browns. It's not hard to beat a team that is so injured, so depleted, extremely banged up. You're coming off of having extra time, and your bodies are good to go. You had a week off. Deshaun Watson blows. Him and Amari Cooper are not on the same page. Deshaun Watson puts it 5 feet into the dirt nonstop. It's not hard to beat that team at all, quite frankly. Everyone beats them. It's actually very simple to beat them. You guys sucked and beat them. You guys weren't good and won. So no, Nick, it's not hard to win in this league when the Cleveland Browns are your opponent coming into your house. When you look at some of the adversity the Browns were hitting with their roster, their roster, but their schedule being on the road, having a couple road games in a row. Come on, Nick. This is the type of game you have to put up 45 plus. I want it to be over halfway through the first quarter. I want it to be 14-0 before the Browns are even able to sniff their second first down of the game. That's not too hard to ask. Even with Dallas Goedert getting injured with the hamstring. Again, by the way, Dallas Goedert going to miss some time, potentially. He missed this game. Always getting banged up. Darius Slay leaves. Fred Johnson comes in when Jordan Mailata goes down. And those are some real question marks for the future of this run here. Cincinnati, the New York Giants. I'll get to that when the time comes. I can't shake what this head coach just did in this game. Now, here's what I'm not going to buy. Nick Sirianni saying that he was the one in charge on 3rd and 1, and he was the one in charge when there was a bad play call by Vic Fangio, of all people. I think he's just taking the blame. I think he's just taking the bullets. What are the odds that every play that Nick Sirianni calls is the bad one? Now, there actually is a chance that that's real, and I'm not ruling it out completely. But I think he's just taking the shots that are being fired instead of blaming Kellen Moore or blaming Vic Fangio. Now he's stepping in over Vic Fangio. I highly doubt that. But I also wouldn't be surprised because, well, he's not the sharpest either. But I don't think it's true. I don't. I'll tell you what, though. We just watched this team against the Atlanta Falcons piss one away due to late game situations, right? Saquon Barkley dropping the ball, high percentage play, didn't get the first down. That A.J. Brown bomb to end the game, that is one of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen. Now, it worked out. And A.J. Brown is a special player, and that's probably one of the hardest catches in the world. It's ironic that you lose with the Saquon Barkley one, which is a super high percentage pass, and then you win with the bomb to A.J. Brown, which is probably a low percentage play for him to be able to adjust and make that catch. That was absurd. If you don't execute that, though, I would have thrown up everywhere. Vomit would be projectiling from my body. It's just stupid football. Now, Nick is saying that Jalen checked to that at the line of scrimmage. I don't like it. I don't think that that's necessary against this team. That's a desperation play. That's a play you do when you got to do it. You got to take the shot. But here, I don't trust this team, essentially, is what it comes down to. I don't trust them. It's either a team that has to do it because they're desperate, where we got to take a shot here, or it's you're a fucking juggernaut. You have so much swag. You have so much arrogance. You're not going to beat us. This team is weird. This team has a lot of skill players on their team, but they never put it together, and they should be a confident bunch, but they don't believe in each other. They don't believe in the head coach. The dynamic of the head coach and the the coordinators are strange. I don't trust this crew. There are situations where I may not mind it as much, but here, that's silly. So, dating back to the details, which is something that you think you would lock in on over the bye week. I mean, I don't think that's paying attention to details. I don't think that that's a smart football play, even if the result ended up being successful. Now, here's what I'm proud about. I'm proud about the beautiful fans we have here in town. Because I put up a Twitter poll, and of course you can follow me on Twitter at Broads81. And since we're here, if you are new to the channel, why not smash the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button as well if you enjoy hearing about Philadelphia sports on a daily basis. Of course, that's what we cover. And you can take me on the road with you by going to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of your podcasting platforms. And if you search Sports Talk with Broads, you can subscribe there. Leave a 5-star rating and a review as well. That truly helps out the algorithms. So thank you so much for that. But I put up a poll on Twitter and I said, does this win do anything for you? Right now, we are very close to 2,200 votes, and 86% of these people are extremely intelligent because they say no. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel. This game did nothing for me. If anything, it showed me that they are extremely whack. They're just a whack bunch. They don't have it. A team that has it doesn't come out of the bye with this gross, disgusting play. How much did we hear about, well, me and Nick and Jalen? Oh, well, hold on. It depends who's talking there. Let me restart. How many times did we hear Nick and Jalen? They were talking all week long. They had such great communication. The hell they talk about? What they talk about? And people who were biting into that, expecting it to be a big difference, they're the same people that fell in love with Nick and Jalen riding the golf cart at training camp, thinking that that means their relationship was fixed. Let me explain something to you. Nick and Jalen together are a problem. Nick and Jalen together don't like one another. Nick and Jalen together are part of the reasons why we are in the predicament that we are in. The chemistry doesn't work. The puzzle pieces don't fit. I don't know how much more you need to see before it sticks with you. The Eagles have a systematic problem inside the NovaCare complex. And the football field tells that to you. It's not that difficult. It really isn't. Sometimes it's very easy and it's staring right into your soul. What you see product-wise on the field tells you exactly how things are operating behind the scenes. And if you think a 3-2 football team with this roster and with the information and the context of the games itself, if you think that this is all great and there's plenty of football left and they are just this bunch that are figuring it out on the fly and it's all trending in the right direction, you're sick. You are sick in the head. I've been around football long enough. Yo, this team blows. Just wait until there's different competition out there. We're watching what we always laugh at with the New York Giants. That's us right now. That's what we are right now. Over the last few years, whenever we mocked the Giants, mocked Daniel Jones, mocked them when they had Saquon Barkley and that was the offense. Saquon came here thinking it would be this massive upgrade and this offense would be soaring. Dude, there's times where I truly think I'm watching a green-colored version of the New York Giants with their offense with what they do with Saquon. No creativity, no nothing. Saquon picks up 2, Saquon picks up 4. Then you try and do a tush push after it's 3rd and 1, then 4th and 1. It's a tush push. This thing was supposed to be sexy. This thing was supposed to be a top 2 offense in the entire league. Anything short of an elite, insane, overpowering offense is a complete failure for this bunch. And if you think otherwise, I'm sorry. I think you got to reassess. Now, I love the comments on this poll. Does this win do anything for you? Here's a few of them. Absolutely not. Nick coached an awful game. And the stunt he pulled at the end, trying to mess with the crowd, was so obnoxious. I want him gone ASAP. I love that. How's this one? It somehow made me more worried about the direction of this team and season. Now, the reason why I would disagree with that is, how did you expect anything different? Did you truly, to your core, expect this team to play this great, beautiful brand of football? Even if the opponent was hot garbage lining up against them, the Eagles are hot garbage! They're hot garbage! They are closer to the Cleveland Browns than you would like to admit. Now, they are better. Congratulations. They are a tick better, and they're able to get the concept with Devontae Smith to take it to the house. And, you know, that catch by A.J. Brown is gross. So, yes, they are a tad elevated from the Cleveland frickin' Browns. Woohoo! But they're closer to Cleveland and the bad New York Giants teams over the last few years than what we expected them to be. And the number one issue is the energy surrounding the team due to the leadership. Nick Sirianni is a problem. His presence is a problem. Gary says here, no, this win doesn't make me feel any different or better. The coach is a fraud. The offense is fraudulent, and the QB all of a sudden is showing fake emotions after the game. I didn't get a chance. I mean, I saw Jalen celebrate with the linemen. I don't know. I mean, it didn't hit me as Jalen is being fake. Maybe there's something that I missed. I've been so honed in on the Nick Sirianni stuff. But I guess I'm just saying overall that I'm very proud. Very, very proud that this fan base understands that this guy is a lunatic and should not be at all the head coach of this football team. Now, did Saquon say something? Because maybe Saquon made a comment. Jalen Hurts did. I didn't see it, but I encourage him to be himself. We trust who you are. Man, that is so bogus. Think about it. We're now at the point where the guys in the locker room are saying, come on, Nick. Go ahead, be you, Nick. We love you, Nick. Oh, man. If you're ever in that position where that's the message being sent to the guy who's supposed to lead all of the men, don't you realize this thing is broken? Don't you realize the foundation is absolutely destroyed? It's supposed to be the other way around. The coach comes in and he starts to express how much he believes in them, how much he installs confidence in them, how much they look at him and knows that he's got the answers. He knows what he's doing. He's in control. It's the other way around. The players are controlling the coaching staff right now. That is bizarre. That's ridiculous. That doesn't work. That is not how you are effective in this league. You got to be the one in command. You got to command these 53 men. It gets more embarrassing for Nick Sirianni as the games go on. All right, I guess I didn't see anything from Saquon. Whew. I'm sure it's going to be lovely, though. All week long. All week long. Oh, man. Kevin Nagandi of ESPN. Have no idea what was said to him, but why are we doing this? You beat the 1-5 Browns by 4 points just because of your talent. I'm all about being yourself, but you're an underachieving 3-2 after last season's collapse. What are we doing? Rich Hoffman, formerly of The Athletic. That was clearly not a great football game. I don't think the Eagles should be super thrilled with their performance, but no problem celebrating after a win. That said, if this video is what it looks like, is Nick Sirianni serious? Get him out of here. Get Nick Sirianni out of Philadelphia today. I don't know what we're waiting for. I don't know what we're waiting for. Hey, I know what can help out the pain, though, if Nick Sirianni does stay. That's my friends over at Garage Beer. No bitterness, beer that tastes like beer. Definitely not an IPA. It's 1,000% quality. Make sure you check it out at drinkgaragebeer.com. Okay, let's take a anytime hotline call. Let's start things off with my guy, Ethan.
Another Eagles win that was much closer than it needed to be. I guess if there's any positives to take away from today, that the offense had no turnovers. Myles Garrett's an absolute stud, though. I mean, him blocking that field goal was super impressive. The special teams was kind of ass today because they gave up the only touchdown of the game. I mean, the Eagles defense was really good as well, but you're playing against Deshaun Watson, who's the worst person QB and arguably the worst quarterback in terms of talent-wise in the NFL right now. It's good to see Jalen and AJ link up, though, again. I mean, they were kind of in their bag. That throw late was super risky, but it paid off, so we don't talk about what could have happened if that didn't pay off. Yeah. Go Birds. You won, but you were expected to.
Yeah. All right. I like how you mentioned that at the end. Hey, since they completed it, you don't really bash it that much, but it should be bashed for sure. That's why I referenced it earlier. Here's the thing, Ethan, and you're not wrong to focus on the turnovers, the lack thereof, which is great. It's amazing. It's fantastic. We have a turnover problem with the quarterback. He constantly puts it in harm's way, and it cost this football team a lot of times over the last however many games. It's been a long time, too, and it hasn't slowed down. So to see it happen, it's great. I just don't know how much of it is because, yeah, Jalen Hurts is now all of a sudden this fantastic, beautiful quarterback that knows how to keep the ball in the hands of the Eagles, or if it's because the Cleveland Browns are such a piece of slop and they have no players available and they are so injured that, I mean, it would have taken a miracle for them to get an interception. It would have taken a miracle for them to create chaos. I guess the only person you could have seen actually maybe make a play would have been Myles Garrett, and he did. It just happened to be on special teams and not when you were going on a legitimate drive or anything like that. I just don't know in what world this defense would have done something so spectacular that it would have wowed you and put the Browns in a great position. They would have flipped the field, or, they would have read Jalen Hurts' eyes and pounced on a route and then made a sensational pick six go down. I just don't think that's even possible for Cleveland. If it was against a team that I thought had studs in the secondary, if they have game-changing style of safeties, if they have these players that are known to create turnovers and to put their offenses in fantastic field positions, then maybe I would feel differently about it. And, I mean, believe it or not, surprise, surprise, here's a big shock for you. I am so stuck on the stupid post-game Nick Sirianni stuff that there's really not much for me to absorb out of the football game. And before Nick even did that, honestly, when I was putting my notes together, there wasn't much substance to the game. It was, okay, the Browns are bad. The Eagles are better than the Browns. The Eagles had an awful right before half sequence. Other than that, I mean, when the Browns were torching you out of the half, think about that. When the Browns were torching you out of half, it took the Browns shooting themselves in the foot with a dumb third down call, which led to BG sniffing it out prior to snap and stopping the run within seconds. They had to kick a field goal. They were running the ball nicely. They were moving the chains nicely. There were some throws where Deshaun Watson looked like he was in his bag again, which is problematic that you let him look like that. I want to give a lot of credit to Cooper DeJean. I thought he balled out and he made some awesome plays, and he was almost everywhere. It was one of those games, not the same as maybe Zach Bond early in the season where you thought he made every tackle in the entire game, but the way Vic Fangio used Cooper DeJean, I think that was a little bit of what we thought maybe you could do, is just be creative with him, use him in different ways. You could send him, you could just do a lot, and he's got a lot of tricks. So I liked what I saw from Cooper DeJean. I thought it was very encouraging. It's just hard to be encouraged by the team in general and the direction, especially after you have such a problem with the leadership. Such a problem with the leadership. You can't act that way. You can't act that way. Who acts that way? Who acts that way? You don't need to be Bill Belichick, okay? You can have a personality. If the players want Nick to be Nick, there's no problem with that. But is that really what you should be doing? Isn't there somewhere in the middle? If you don't want him to be Jalen Hurts, which is Mr. No Expression, I don't need you to be barking at the fans, pouting or pounding your chest. Excuse me. Alec Boehm's still in the mind. He was pouting. But you don't have to be pounding your chest in a brutal win. Like, you're taking so much pride in that outcome. You're thrilled with that result. And maybe the answer is, yeah, you're thrilled. You know why you're thrilled? Because in your mind, you saved your job. So if you're coaching for your job, you know that you're doing a piss poor job. So I get it if the outpour is, I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm thrilled. But if you can't channel that emotions the right way, then you're not a good leader. And that's what this all comes down to. No matter what route we take, we're going to come up with the same conclusion every time. Nick Sirianni should never be an NFL head coach. And if he is, you're not going to have success. And here we are. Let's go to Mist.
What's up, Rhodes, Mist? Hey, look, man. Normally I'd say any win in the NFL is a good win. And I still kind of believe that, but I can't say I feel any better about this team after the game that I did beforehand. Offense still looks terrible. Jalen still does not look great. Had a good throw to AJ at the end there for sure, but so many, especially in the first half, nearly every ball off the mark. Saquon, whatever. I mean, he just couldn't run today. I don't know what that was, whether it was the play calling or just, that defense. I mean, Brown's defense certainly not terrible, but, and then when you get to the injuries, Mailata, Goddard, Slay, not good. Not good.
So what's wrong with the offense? I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I'm not sure if Nick Sirianni is stepping in at all. He probably is on some levels. To some levels. Kellen Moore is a part of this. I think Jalen Hurts is a part of it. I think it's a combination of all of them. This is what I think it comes down to. The chemistry between those three, it's not forming what it needs to form. The bond, whatever gets molded together when you talk about offensive head coach, OC, quarterback, the conversations, the QB coach, right? Just the combination of those four men together. They haven't been able to make the puzzle pieces fit. And maybe they don't fit. Maybe they don't fit. Say what you want about Kellen Moore individually as an OC. Say what you want about Jalen Hurts individually as a quarterback. Say what you want about Nick Sirianni as an offensive mind. Whatever it is, together, there's something off. And personally, I believe that was created by the uppers. That was created by how everybody was hired. There's a reason why when you bring in a new coaching staff, you pretty much fire everybody and you have a fresh start and you let the one in charge select who's underneath of them, and then there's this relationship and connection. I believe in you. I trust in you. There's a reason why I hired you to be my OC. There's a reason why I hired you to be my DC. There's a reason why I wanted you as our quarterbacks coach. It becomes a team. Well, when you say, Nick, go stand over there, please, while I bring in Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. You do you, and Nick, please stay away. Where's the team? This doesn't look like a team. It looks like a squad that's got talent, that are squeezing plays out, that make things happen because there are talented skill position players on the roster, but there's no flow to this. Everything is super choppy. They didn't score in the first quarter again. It's week 6. They didn't score in the first quarter again. How do you script plays against this Browns defense and go 3-and-out to start the game? How does that happen? It's literally impossible, man. It's impossible. All right, we'll take one more call here. Let's go to Tyler.
What's going on, bros? Let me tell you something, man. Finally, we got an entertaining Eagles game. No turnovers from Jalen Hurts. Elite passes, especially that last one toward the very end of the game, what I can still remember, to A.J. Brown. Now, I got a question for you. I got more of like an opinion. Let me know how you feel about whether you agree or disagree. I think the sooner we get Nick Sirianni out of the building, the better. I think the sooner that we get rid of him, the better. Back in the day, this might be a bad example to bring up in a terrible comparison, but back in the day, people did a bunch of stupid shit to try and get rid of sickness or try and cure pain. You drill a hole in someone's head to get rid of their headache. You spit on somebody's arm after cutting it open to get rid of the plague. But we did a bunch of stupid shit back then. And then over time, we developed, we evolved, and we got it down to a science to cure people with medicine. I think the sooner we get rid of Nick Sirianni, the better. So do you think we should lose more games to get Nick Sirianni out of the building? Because that's what it seemed like this team was doing at first. And now, I'd rather watch us win, obviously. It's more entertaining. But I think the sooner we get rid of Nick, the better. So I think some part of me roots for this team to lose more. That's how I feel about it. But I'm glad we got a win today. It was entertaining.
All right, I appreciate the call, Tyler. The word entertaining, though, is an interesting one. I don't know many Eagles fans that use the word entertaining to describe that because I thought it was rough. But look, the hypothetical you brought up of, if they lose, is it better? Because the inevitable could happen, which is Nick Sirianni losing his job. Here's what I have a hard time doing. This is just my personal stance on it. I never want my team to lose. I don't. I don't trust Nick Sirianni. This is what I'd say. Maybe this is flawed, and maybe I need more time to think about it. I'd say this. I would want them to win, even if it's ugly and in spite of Nick Sirianni. And then I would just hope and pray that Jeffrey Lurie is smart enough and Howie is smart enough to see that even though they're winning games, there's something wrong with Nick. Because then that means Jalen might not be a problem. Then that means, there's something to Saquon, this offensive line, Cooper DeJean. Like, if they just straight up start looting, they're trash, they're garbage, they're pathetic, they get blown out all the time, then we could have problems in the secondary with your D-line, with your O-line, and maybe we do. I don't trust Bryce Huff. I don't trust some of these guys on the D-line. I don't trust all of them, so we may have that problem anyway. But I guess my point is, if Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman are as sharp as we say that they are and as we think that they are, you could still win 9 games, go 9-8, lose in the first round of the playoffs, and realize that Nick Sirianni is trash. And I think that would be better than just being a 2-win team, because then there's more they have to figure out. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. Because I don't want it all to be I don't want to win 3 games, 2 games, and it's like we need everything. I want guys who are capable to still make capable plays. I just want the head coach to change. And because you have so much talent on your roster, like when we say it looks like it's Saquon and nothing else, well, that's your talent. When Saquon hits a 55-yard touchdown and you win because of that, that's because you got great talent. So I still want the talent to flourish. And maybe you win more games because of that. But if you have intelligent people in place, they should recognize that just because we're winning, it doesn't correlate with Nick Sirianni. It's correlating with the talent we have in the room. We still have to make a change at head coach. That's how I would prefer for it to go down, if that makes sense. All right. With that, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. Go Birds. Just a fun football team. Am I right?